This is Margaret Harritt, and this is the story of how her and her friend came across this man on the Appalachian Trail. Margaret graduated high school early. She was 17 years old. She decided that she was going to go to the University of South Carolina. She was attending college. She found this cute little shop called the Backpacker where she met Joel Polson. Joel was trying to convince her to go on a trip with him to the Appalachian Trail. Margaret never really hiked or walked, so she thought she was unqualified for it. But she was super lost in her college career and she really didn't know what she wanted to do with her future. So she thought this might be the kind of trip that could help her with, find some clarity. So they went on the trip. And when they arrived at the trail, it was evening. So they only were able to cover about 6 miles that first night. Plus, they overpacked, so their packs are super heavy and they were exhausted. Margaret even had a blister forming on her heel. So, after walking about the 6 miles, they came across a shelter that they could rest at for the night. When they got closer to the shelter, they saw that there was another hiker there. Joel immediately felt uneasy. He felt in his gut that something wasn't right. But Margaret said that she felt okay and she didn't sense any danger. So they went up to him and talked to him, and he introduced himself. His name was Ralph. So Margaret and Joel went down to the stream to wash up for the night. But that's when Joel told Margaret that he had a bad feeling about Ralph. And when he was telling Margaret this, he realized that he could be stealing their packs, which were up by the shelter. So they ran up there as fast as they could, and they weren't stolen. Ralph was just chilling right there. So Joel felt a little better about him. So as the night went on, they made a campfire and they made dinner on the campfire, and Joel was slowly warming up to the guy. He still wanted to leave first thing in the morning. So they went to sleep, and then Joel woke up Margaret super early. They started to pack up. As Margaret was bending over and packing up her stuff, she heard a loud bang. As she turned around to see what happened, Joel was crouched over with his head on the fire ring and his body was motionless. Before she had time to even process what had happened, Ralph was on top of her, tying her hands behind her back, and he dragged her out into the woods and tied her to a tree. Margaret asked him, "What are you going to do with me?" And he replied, "I don't know." He walked off for about 10 minutes, and this time Margaret is thinking about Joel and hoping he's okay. So Ralph came back, and Margaret asked him if Joel was okay, and Ralph responded by saying, "I took care of him." Oh, Ralph untied Margaret from the tree, led her back to the shelter. And Margaret, this whole walk, is expecting this is the end, she's going to be unalived. She said that Ralph was unusually kind to her. He told her that he's never hurt a woman before. Then she asked him again, "What are you going to do with me?" And he said, "I don't know." He dragged her back into the woods, time further than the last time. This time, he walked away for about 20 minutes until he came back. Came back, he told her that he felt bad. He couldn't leave her there in case nobody found her. Now, Margaret and Ralph are hiking out of the woods, reach a road. Ralph decided to change his mind again, decided he wasn't going to leave Margaret unless she spent the night with him at a motel. Hitchhiked to a motel, and Margaret was fully expecting to be hurt by him. But she said that surprisingly, he showed compassion, and he did nothing to her. Margaret was exhausted just from everything that had happened, so she ended up falling asleep in the motel. When she woke up, she was hoping that she could leave. Ralph told her he didn't want her hitchhiking all the way to South Carolina. He told her that they would both go to the bus stop. He would go to Atlanta, she would go to South Carolina. And he made her promise to not call the police right away, else a bunch of innocent people would get hurt. Arrived in South Carolina to her home, called the police. Police did search for Joel, and they found him deceased. This also put a warrant out for Ralph. A week later, a woman called in and told them she recognized him, and he was then arrested.